Hello and welcome to Mile High Reefers. I'm Scott Anderson and this is the January 30th, 2014 tank update. So let's go check it out. It's been about 2 months since my last tank update and I think things have gotten a lot better. I've put an incredible amount of time and money into this thing to kind of bring it back from the 2 large tank crashes that I suffered last year, but everything appears to be on track and everything's looking great. The fish are doing just fantastic. Rankins is just growing enormous. He's the blue tang, of course. Pinky the yellow tang, and Rankins get along just fine. He has gotten fat and big and healthy, and he's just doing great. The chromies are about 3 times the size of when I bought them 2 years ago. And the new bangies have fattened up, grown well. The clowns are doing great. And of course, Nemo, the bigger of the 2 clowns, is now 8 years old. He is doing just fantastic. He's a big, fat, healthy clownfish. He's doing just so great. I'm so happy with him. So everybody's doing really well on the fish side of things. On the coral side of things, everything is doing really well, except for a couple minor, tiny little things, which are mainly my fault. So let's get to that. So on the not so good side of things is my devil's hand leather. And I know I just made a video of him. And if you would have seen him yesterday, he was doing great. But yesterday I decided I would go ahead and clean my pumps off. And everything went fine until I reinstalled it and I accidentally dropped that pump on that coral. So he's pissed off. I have no reason to believe he won't get out of it. You can see the little mark running right across him through there. That's where the pump fell on him. I feel like a jackass, but that's kind of what happened. So when you're cleaning stuff, make sure you don't drop it on your coral. You'll feel like an idiot. My open brain is still showing a little bit of his skeleton, but he's doing a lot better. I've moved him from the higher flow area and higher light area to this shadier, lower flow area, and he seems like he's getting a lot better. If you watch some of the older videos, you'll notice that this guy was a lot more green. Now he's a lot more reddish pink, which I think is attractive. Now how healthy he is, I'm not sure, but I'm hoping that he will fully recover. But as I've said, he has stopped the tissue recession and he is holding his own. He still puts out his feeder tentacles, so I'm very happy with that. This colt coral, I've had him since really early on in this tank and he is doing just fantastic, no worries whatsoever. Same with the Singulara leather, he is just loving this spot. Lots of light, lots of flow. He's a little more pulled in than usual, and that's just because I've been playing with water flow the last day or so, just trying to see what I can do to optimize things. This little toadstool leather has been in my tank for about a year and a half now. He was actually in my old 29 before I tore it down. He's never really grown much, but I mounted him on this rock about 2 months ago, and that appears to be the perfect location. He's always putting out his tentacles, and he is actually showing growth now. So I'm really happy with that. And it may be partly due to the LED lighting on this tank, but he's doing great. Super happy with him. And then I've been buying candy canes like mad. You'll notice this guy on the bottom left. You can see some tissue recession on there. He was like that when I bought him. We got a new local fish store in Fort Collins, and they have a $3 frag section, and it's just a mix of everything down there, and he was one of those, so for $3 I couldn't pass up a candy cane. I got this guy the other day at a different fish store. He's just doing fantastic, kind of more of a bluish green color, very bubbly, very lovely, and I love that. And then I also got 2 more of the burgundy and green centered ones. They're just lovely corals and they were just stupid cheap, so I had to pick them up. The kryptonite candy cane If you watch a video 6 months ago, it was almost dead. I was almost ready to rip this guy off and throw him away. And he is just coming back like gangbusters. This polyp right here is like that all the time. It's just fully expanded, trying to suck food in all the time. The one in back that's split is doing great. And the one on the left side is like reanimated. It's back from the dead. It's fantastic. I'm loving these guys. I love candy canes. I love their resilience, and I love how beautiful they are. And of course, my favorite. When I bought this guy, 3 heads, and now look at him. He is giant, gorgeous. I love him. And here's another one that I just purchased the other day. Again, very inexpensive frag, and these guys grow quickly. They grow into just gorgeous pieces, so I just kind of collect them. They are fantastic. So here's the Sabaean anemone, and he's doing extremely well. Kind of surprised because they're supposed to be more of a difficult coral. You can't really see the color of him, but he's kind of a light purple with purple tips. Absolutely gorgeous, and the thing I'm really loving is how this bangi just lives there. This bangi's like hosting this anemone, and I've noticed on YouTube videos of bangis in the wild that they're actually hanging out in anemones, which I think is really cool. So this guy just hangs out there like all the time. He loves that thing. And of course, my elephant ear is doing just spectacular. No issues with him. He feeds just like an anemone. You drop a piece of food in, he closes up over it and eats it. It's great fun to watch. This plating Monty, during the crash when the heater failed on, had skin peeling off of him. He was looking nasty, and now look, he's growing quickly, looks beautiful. He's fantastic. I am so happy with him. I am glad he pulled through it, and everything's going great with him. And then one of the things I bought that I just loved, another $3 frag, is the Pagoda. $3 frag. Just tons of polyps coming out. I'm interested to see how this guy does, but now that I have him, I really want to find a big Pagoda. He's just really cool. I'm loving him. And there is a frag of zoes next to him. He's another $3 frag. All of my zoes are doing really good. I've been picking up some new ones. Let's see if I can zoom in on these guys. Oh, there we go. These guys are kind of this blue color. They're this blue-green. They are just spectacular, gorgeous color, and $3 for that colony. Loving it. And as far as $3 colonies go, come on, Pinky. I picked this thing up. When I bought it, I thought it was an encrusting Monty. None of those tentacles were out, and it looked, for all intents and purposes, like a Monty that was an encrusted Monty that was closed up. And I got him home, and these tentacles started sprouting out of him. No idea what he is. So if you know, let me know. But he's really cool. I'm really happy with him. $3. No idea what he is, but he seems to be doing great. One interesting thing is I've been playing with the current in here, and as more current's been going in there, it's really been encouraging him to pull out. So he's been doing just fantastic. So this Zoa colony will be mounted to that spot. Right now I haven't glued it down. They're nearly that spot, a little more this way so you can see them better. They're just this gorgeous greenish blue color. I'm loving them, and no, those were not a cheap colony. They were just so cool. My wife decided on those, and she does have great taste. This Monty you may think looks a little ugly, but this Monty I tried to rip off of there because I thought it was dead. Yeah, after all the tank crashes, this thing was brown. It didn't do anything. I thought it was dead. I tried to rip it off the live rock. I couldn't do it. It was on there so tightly. So I left it in the tank, and look at it. It's alive. It's growing. It's doing relatively well in comparison to where it was. So I'm actually really happy. This guy's still alive. And my frog spawn, this guy used to live on the sand bed. I've moved him up. He's a little annoyed lately since he's in the higher water flow that I've been messing with the last couple days. So I don't know if I'm going to leave him there. But really gorgeous thing, doing pretty well. And then here's my new cauliflower colt coral. They go by many different names, but it's this gorgeous burgundy, almost burnt orange color, and it's one I've wanted for quite a while, ever since I've thought about switching this over to more of an LPS softy tank rather than an SPS LPS tank. And he's doing super well. He's been in the tank for about a week now, no real issues there. You'll see he's very close to my toadstool leather, and these guys are supposed to go to war with each other, so I'm going to keep my eye on them. If I do see either coral start to degrade in health, I will definitely move one of them. But so far so good, no issues with them going to war or anything. They seem like they're doing just spectacular. And while I'm here, just because I love these guys so much, I'm going to give you a little better view of these blue-green, I'm guessing pallies, they might be zoes, I'm not sure, but absolutely spectacular. They're doing just fantastic. And then there's some more zoes, they're doing just lovely. My hammer corals doing very well. He's not opening as he usually is. I attribute that to me playing with the water flow in the tank, but he is doing just lovely. Another Zoa colony I have to mount. They're kind of an orange center and with a blue ring, kind of hard to tell from the video, but he's doing super well. And so is the blue ring Durasa clam, which was the mistake from Live Aquaria. He is doing spectacular. One thing I would like to point out is I got a sand sifting star the other day, and you can see the sand in here looks relatively clean, right? Nothing too scary, too annoying. But then if you come over to the other side of the tank where the leather is, you can see how nasty it is. This is the stuff that the sand sifting star can't get to, and he can't turn it over, he can't do anything with it. You get the layer of cyano and everything around it. So I think I'm going to have to invest in some more Nasarius, but I thought it was interesting how stark the difference was between where the sand sifting star lived and where he doesn't. And then here is the Durasa clams, what I was told. I don't think that's actually what he is. Most Durasas don't have these spines as far as I know. But he has done just fantastic. The growth on this thing has been just incredible. He was maybe a quarter this size a little over a year ago when I bought him. So I am blown away by the growth on this. If the Durasa grows that quickly, it'll be unbelievable. I mean, he is just growing incredibly. It's unbelievable. And then the mini carpet anemone is doing great. He's been super easy. He's lived just about where I put him on the rock. He's kind of moved down to a little more shady area. He just settled in. No issues whatsoever. Beautiful green color. I really want to get more of these. They are just doing just fantastic. Love this thing. Then I also, in the $3 frag rack, picked up some what I believe to be pallies. Not 100% sure on that, but you know, $3. They're kind of a brown color. One thing I don't think enough people think about is brown is a real color that we can actually use in our tanks. Just because you see something that's brown doesn't mean that it's crap. I mean, you can get some great textures and shapes out of brown. So I don't try to just stock brown, but when I see something that's brown and it's interesting, I'm not afraid to bring it home. I really do believe that brown is a real color. And when you look at some natural reef pictures online, you'll notice that there's a lot of brown coral out there. So pretty cool in my opinion. We'll see if they change colors or anything, but just a very nice texture and shape, and they really add to that rock. And then I've recently purchased another Xenia colony. I love Xenias. I do try to keep them on their own little rock because their growth is explosive. And then another inhabitant of the tank, if you look on the bottom right, is the hyphen goby. He lives down there with a pistol shrimp, and that's why this whole rock is completely undermined. So we'll see how that ends up working out. But really cool fish to watch. He's always coming out trying to pick off little pieces of food. And there is a little shrimp that looks like a little tiny lobster that comes out once in a while. But everybody appears to be doing super well. Love the colors on him. I love the little spike that sits up on the back. He's just super cool. And here's the rose bubble tip anemone. He has settled into that spot. He's been there for months now. Hermit crab still lives on him. The porcelain crab on the anemone has worked out incredibly well for me. I have just never ever had a problem with him. He's been super healthy. He just sits there pulling nutrients out of the water. He's a filter feeder, and the anemone has moved in there, and he has just been super great and super happy. And I don't know if you can see it, but this brown Monty, if you look early on, it's like starting to take over my tank. And during the heater failure, it died completely. And he's showing signs of new life, so I'm really interested to see if he comes back. But this is the second Monty in this tank that's pulled the Lazarus trick off and has come back to life. So maybe one of the things to learn from this is don't throw your Monties away when they look like they're dead, because they really can come back. And then I just purchased this guy the other day. It's a gorgeous Favia. I've been wanting a Favia for a while. I've just never found the right one. Found this guy, fell in love with him, so I had to bring him home. He is just gorgeous. I don't expect much out of growth because Favias grow incredibly slow, but he is absolutely lovely, and I am thrilled with him, and I'm interested to see how owning a Favia goes for me. So I'm going to leave you with a wide-angle shot of the tank. In my opinion, it's looking much, much better. Like I said, other than the leather that had the little bit of issue for me dropping on a pump on it, everything's doing spectacular. The cyano's going back down. I have also put the purple dotty back in this tank. I didn't show him. I saw him many times while making this video, but he was never in a position where I could really focus in and zoom in and really show you what he's like. I did have a problem with him in the quarantine tank. He started to bite the tail fins off of the bangies. So far in this tank, I've not had any problem with that. In this tank, he's been a very skittish fish. He's been hiding in the rock work, he's been hiding in back, and he really hasn't messed with anybody. And my guess is because in this tank, he is not the biggest, meanest fish. In this tank, I've got 2 tangs, some chromies, even the clowns are bigger and tougher than he is. So that's my guess, is that putting him in a tank with a lot more cover and a lot more corals and a lot more space combined with some bigger fish has really calmed him down. So I'm interested to see how he does long term. I'm a little worried that if I have a problem with him, now he'll be very difficult to get out of the tank. But I love that fish, and I hope it really works out well. So thanks for watching Mile High Reefers. If you like this episode, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I'm always putting out new videos. I'm always trying to improve my setup. So thanks for watching again, and we'll see you on the next episode.